Developing right now on Morning News Now, diplomacy and controversy on day 2 of President Trump's Middle East visit, emphasizing his closeness with Saudi Arabia.
Today we reaffirm this important bond, and we take the next steps to make our relationship closer, stronger, and more powerful than ever before.
While facing the fallout over Qatar's offer of a luxury jet to serve as Air Force One.
This is the most blatant, obvious, ridiculous, gross corruption that I've ever seen in my entire life. You don't have to be all fancy pants to understand how ridiculous it is that a foreign government is going to say, hey, we'll take care of Air Force One for you.
It is customary and totally normal for foreign countries to give our government gifts.
Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, Republicans clashing over President Trump's tax cut bill. We have team coverage. Also this morning, the Menendez brothers now closer to freedom after being resentenced, and troubling testimony from the star witness in the sex trafficking trial of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. What his ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura, said about their relationship and his alleged abuse. Plus, fire and flooding in parts of the U.S. from another round of severe weather. We're tracking the conditions and who is at risk. And mixed reaction to a Major League announcement. Baseball's all-time hit leader Pete Rose posthumously reinstated by the MLB decades after being banned for betting. Now he's eligible for the Hall of Fame. Why the decision has fans and experts split. And look who's here today.
Hi, good morning. It's nice to see you. I'm in for Joe Fryer. I'm Christine Romans.
Hi, Christine. I'm Savannah Sellers. Thanks so much for joining us today.
All right, we begin this morning with new hope for the Menendez brothers in their fight for freedom. After spending decades behind bars for the murder of their parents, Eric and Lyle Menendez are now eligible for parole after a California judge resentenced them to 50 years to life yesterday.
The judge said he did not believe they posed an unreasonable risk if they were released. The ruling comes after months of delays in the resentencing hearing and opposition from the new Los Angeles district attorney. Now, it's been nearly 30 years since the brothers were found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. A California parole board will decide if the men are suitable for release.
NBC News correspondent Dana Griffin joins us now with the latest on all of this. Dana, good morning. This decision from the judge, it was after a series of witnesses testified during yesterday's hearing to determine whether the brothers were eligible for resentencing. This hearing was supposed to be a couple of days. It ended in just one. Walk us through the long day in court and just what the reaction has been to this.
Absolutely, Christine. Savannah, good morning to you. Again, supposed to be a 2-day hearing. It lasted just one, and it moved very quickly toward the end. So we heard from 3 of the family's cousins, one pleading with the judge to be merciful in his decision. We also heard from a retired judge who says that he has never advocated for another prisoner before, but once he saw the work that these brothers have done to not only rehabilitate themselves, but to mentor other inmates, he knew he had to appear. We also heard from an inmate that served time with both Eric and Lyle. He got emotional on the stand. He, too, was paroled and says that he credits those 2 men for helping to save his life. Outside of court, we heard from family members who were reacting to this joyful news. 50 years to life in prison. That is the downgrade from their life without the possibility of parole sentence. Listen to what their cousins said to us outside of court yesterday.
Ultimately, we are here today with this result because of Eric and Lyle, because they chose to live their lives with clarity and a purpose of service that the judge was impressed by. And so a huge thanks to them, too, for being the kind of people that we could bring home.
And the people that you see there behind her in tears yesterday in court when the judge issued his ruling. Ladies.
So, Dana, prosecutors didn't want them to be eligible for parole. The defense wanted a full release. So neither got exactly what they wanted here, but it's clearly a win for the Menendez brothers nonetheless. Now, they were actually given a chance to speak, Eric and Lyle, immediately after the judge made his decision. What did we hear from them?
Yeah, it was emotional. Lyle was emotional at one point, and they took full accountability. They talked about how they killed their mom and dad. They called their crimes cruel and cowardly. And they took they took ownership. They even apologized again to the family for what they put them through, for the media spectacle they have made of their family. It was very emotional, and during their statements, you could hear just sobs in the courtroom from those family members. And even after everything that they said, pouring their heart out to the judge, the prosecution still kind of chastise them and say, you know, we didn't hear them take accountability for everything, all of the lies that they told leading up to them being caught and ultimately convicted of murder.
Hey, Dana, we heard one prosecutor say resentencing is trust during closing remarks. Part of the hearing focused on the brothers' perceived risk to society. How did the Los Angeles DA address that perceived risk?
Well, he was at the courthouse that morning as this hearing was going on, and he brought up the fact that there was a critical risk assessment report partially put out, and in it, it detailed that the brothers had been deceitful, had brought in contraband, including a cell phone, and that Eric had traded drugs and even helped other inmates commit tax fraud. So for him, he says that changed their risk from low to moderate. And he argued that they should not be let out. Well, I asked him more pointedly, is he afraid that they're going to commit a violent crime? Listen to our exchange. Are you concerned that their level of rule breaking would rise to someone getting hurt or killed?
It's not my concern. It's the expert psychologists' concern in prison that have risen their risk level up to that moderate level. We've also added to it a whole range of lies that they have told for the last 30 years and have never come clean with.
Well, clearly the judge wasn't buying that, and even the judge says that the judge mentioned that these were very shocking crimes, but he added that he was more shocked by the amount of support the brothers have received, especially from prison officials, including one lieutenant who in his 25 years has never written a single letter for an inmate to get them out. So it says a lot about the work that these brothers have done. There's still a long road ahead. They have to now go before the parole board, which could be months long. And then ultimately, Governor Gavin Newsom has to put his stamp of approval. There's also another pathway, clemency, which the governor can issue at any moment, which means the brothers could be out almost immediately. Ladies.
Dana Griffin, thank you very much for kicking us off this morning. We now have NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos here for more on this to help us unpack it. Danny, good morning. So, I mean, this has been a long legal journey and an interesting one, right? The renewed interest after a Netflix show, as much support as we've seen that Dana just mentioned there. What do you think it is that the judge heard in testimony that led to this decision?
Remorse, contrition, I'm sorry. That's what the judge was looking for from these two brothers. And the brothers got a preview because in the last few months, that's been the chief criticism, that their supposed contrition wasn't enough. They didn't take enough responsibility. So it was no surprise that once they got into this hearing, they were prepped and they knew to say what we did was wrong. Yeah. We've lived with it every day since. They didn't get exactly what they wanted, but they were really likely never going to get resentenced for manslaughter. This is probably the middle outcome, still a good outcome for them, even though it sounds bad. 50 years to life. The reality is they're immediately eligible for parole.
You heard one of the brothers say, I shot my parents. I killed my parents. I'm sorry that I reloaded. I mean, it was a very gruesome murder. Murderers. Let's talk about what happens next. You heard Dana say that this now goes to the California Parole Board, right? And then ultimately, I guess, the governor. Walk us through next steps.
So there are a few next steps, at least because the brothers are really still on three tracks, three different tracks. This track goes next, as you said, to the parole board. The parole board will make a recommendation to Governor Gavin Newsom. That's the path we're on now. That's what happened last night. Meanwhile, they still have a habeas hearing next month. That is the motion that they filed based on newly discovered evidence. We talked about that in some of the other shows.
So that would be the new trial on the left of the screen?
Yes. No. The new trial. Yes, exactly. That would be the habeas petition you see on the left. Resentencing is what we had yesterday. And clemency could also happen at any time, and that involves the governor, Gavin Newsom. He could swoop in and grant them either he could give them a full pardon. That's not likely to happen. Or he could commute their sentence and allow them to get out immediately if he wanted to. So those are the three different tracks. And in an abundance of caution, they need to keep proceeding down all of those tracks because one of them might yield something sooner than the other, even though it seems like this resentencing and now the parole hearing is probably the fastest ticket out.
You think that's their best shot?
They've been in, what, 35 years ago were the murders? And
Yes.
This is a 50-year to life resentencing.
Yes.
So realistically, what does that mean if I mean, they're in prison for longer. They could leave with time served. What?
Oh, they could be. Yeah, and just because they have a parole board hearing doesn't mean that they'll be successful.
Right.
But there is potential light at the end of the tunnel if they can convince the parole board to let them out. And that should be, I think, within the next several weeks, maybe up to 100 days. So they're still going to be in for the foreseeable future. And obviously, what they really wanted was to be resentenced under a manslaughter charge, which would immediately open the prison gates.
Right.
But that was an example of asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars.
Right.
I do it all the time. You ask high and hope that you land somewhere in the middle. Classic negotiation strategy.
All right. Danny Savalos, nice to see you. Thanks, Danny. All right, the former girlfriend of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs delivered harrowing testimony in his federal sex trafficking trial on Tuesday. The prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, told an emotional, graphic, and at times, many times, disturbing story. She detailed alleged physical and sexual abuse at the hands of Combs over the course of their relationship. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas has the latest.
8 months pregnant Cassie Ventura on the stand describing a complicated and abusive relationship with Sean Diddy Combs that began when she was 21. He controlled a lot of my life, Ventura said, calling Combs a scary person. Ventura testifying that they had violent arguments where he would mash my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me. She said a few months into their relationship, Combs suggested hiring an escort to have sex with her while he watched. My stomach churned, Ventura said. I was confused, nervous, but also loved him very much and wanted to make him happy. Combs called these choreographed sexual encounters freak-offs, Ventura detailing how she and Combs would stay awake for days, taking drugs and having sex with strangers. She said at one point they happened weekly. The freak-offs became a job and there was no space to do anything else, she said. Ventura said she was often the one who hired the escorts, who were paid up to $6,000. She described how Combs' security and staff were always around, bringing supplies to freak-offs, including baby oil and drugs. Ventura testified that the freak-offs made her feel disgusting and humiliated, but she says she feared Combs would become violent if she said no. His eyes would go black, she said, and the version I knew of him was no longer there. Prosecutors showing the jury this video obtained by CNN showing Combs beating Ventura in the hallway of a hotel after she says she tried to leave a freak-off. When asked how many times he'd thrown her like that, Ventura said too many to count.
She has to give us the circumstances. Who directed these sex acts to happen? You know, how did she feel when they were happening? Did she want them to occur? Were they against her will? Those are all the elements that the prosecutors are going to have to prove to make their case.
Combs is charged with 5 counts, including sex trafficking and racketeering. Lawyers for the music mogul acknowledge he's engaged in violent behavior and drug use, but say the acts at the center of this case were all consensual. Several of Combs' family members were again in court, including his mother. At one point, Combs gesturing towards them with his hands shaped as a heart.
All right, thanks to Chloe Malas for that report. Ventura is expected to continue her testimony today.
Well, let's now get to President Trump's Middle East trip. He's headed to the second stop of this 4-day tour of the region. Earlier this morning, Mr. Trump met with Syria's new president in a closed-door meeting in Saudi Arabia. This follows his announcement yesterday that he plans to lift sanctions against Syria as the country seeks a new start after decades of dictatorship.
President Trump also met with leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council and delivered remarks before departing for Doha, Qatar. The Gulf nation has been in headlines this week over this offer from Qatar to gift the president with a luxury jet to be used as Air Force One and then later the property of his presidential library. Now, some officials are warning the move brings many security and ethical concerns. But in an interview with Fox News, President Trump defended potentially accepting this expensive gift.
Now, some people say, oh, you shouldn't accept gifts for the country. My attitude is, why wouldn't I accept a gift? We're the United States of America. I believe that we should have the most impressive plane.
NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell traveling with the president joins us live from Doha, Qatar with the latest. Kelly, good morning. So nice to see you. Walk us through some of the key takeaways from President Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia so far.
Well, good morning. Just in the last few moments, we saw Air Force One descending here. So the president is arriving at his second stop, accompanied by military fighter jets. And when he was in Saudi Arabia, as well as here in Doha, there is a building of relationships, a strengthening of ties. In Saudi Arabia, he made news on several fronts, of course, talking about investment from Saudi into the United States and American businesses building and doing in the kingdom as well. And he also talked about changes he's prepared to make on the issue of Syria. Now that there is a new leader there after Bashar al-Assad was deposed, he is lifting sanctions. That's gotten a lot of attention in the region. It was at the request of the Saudi Crown Prince. So this is a mission across a few days where the president has important personal ties with family businesses, having stakes in these countries, and with international ties, trying to stimulate business development in the United States and to strengthen relationships in a part of the world where the U.S. has often had a fraught experience.
Kelly, let's talk about the plane. What are the biggest concerns that are being raised about potentially accepting this jet in the first place and then using it as Air Force One? Not just concerns about bribery or accepting such a large gift, but also security concerns. And what do we think is going to happen on this front today?
Well, let's start with the fact that the Constitution says that the government is not to take gifts from foreign leaders, kings and princes, it says. The intention there is to not have influence from foreign governments onto our president or the U.S. government. So that's the starting point and why there's such a resistance to this. President Trump believes that this is a gift that would be of value to the United States, gifted to the Department of Defense for use while he is in office, then turned over to his future presidential library. Democrats say this is a breach, that this is an ethical violation of significant proportions of value, about $400 million. It would also cost money to change the jet. The Qatari government is gifting a Boeing jet, American-made, but it is already outfitted. It would have to be changed and substantially altered for security reasons and to put the proper equipment and safety measures into Air Force One. That would cost considerable money. Unclear where that money would come from without Congress's support. So there are security issues and ethical issues that are certainly flagging this big issue where the president says he'd like to take the gift.
Kelly, remind our viewers, when a president gets a gift from a foreign government, this happens all the time, and you've heard some of the president's supporters say this, whether it's a statue or it's a rug or whatever it is, that belongs right to the government. It doesn't belong to the president, and there are limits on what can be exchanged. Am I right?
Absolutely. And those become the property of the National Archives. Sometimes they're displayed in presidential libraries. They are not the personal gifts received by the president, who might be there at the moment and take the gift. Often it's a smaller, much smaller gesture, something culturally relevant or something significant. But those are gifts to the people of the United States, not for the personal use of the president. Now, President Trump says this would be eventually a museum at his library. But still, when you're talking about the value of this and the ethical steps, only Congress could approve it. And that will certainly be a challenge with Democrats so opposed.
All right, Kelly O'Donnell in Doha. Thanks, Kelly.
Well, on Capitol Hill, there was fighting among House Republicans overnight about the details of President Trump's tax cut package.
Now, lawmakers debated deep into the night the sweeping bill that could see tax breaks of more than $5 trillion, but divisions emerging over the proposed reductions to Medicaid, food stamps, and green energy strategies to try to pay for it.
NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Cirin joins us on this. Julie, good morning. So what are the latest developments on this bill? Tell us about sort of what's happened overnight and some of the major points of contention among Republicans.
So many points of contention for this bill. Remember, the House has to pass a version, and then the Senate will probably take it all apart and redo it so that it can actually pass what's called the Byrd Rule with the Senate parliamentarian. It essentially can't change any policy. You can only fund what the president is trying to do in his agenda. So you can look forward to another uphill climb after, if and when it passes the House. But you mentioned Republicans meeting overnight trying to haggle what was in this bill. Some of them still gathering this morning, trying to figure out about specifically the tax provision of this bill. There was a discussion yesterday. Remember, the president wants to extend and even make permanent his 2017 tax cuts. There was a conversation yesterday with a group of Republicans from blue states about state and local tax deductions. They want to beef up that number, and that could be a major sticking point because, remember, Republicans have such a slim majority in the House. Every single vote counts. There's also Medicaid. There's also energy, and of course, how you're going to pay for this thing and lower the deficit at the same time. So a lot still to get through on their end.
Yeah, a lot of math. A lot of math to math on Capitol Hill. Looking ahead to today, we're expecting to see several Trump administration officials testifying on the Hill, Julie, including HHS Secretary RFK Jr. What's he going to be asked about?
Well, this is the time of year where agency heads come to the Hill and talk about the money they need for their agencies to run. But this is unusual with RFK Jr. because this is the first time in decades that an HHS secretary is actually going to go do this. The reason RFK Jr. is doing it, in part, is because he committed to senators, including Senator Bill Cassidy, who is the top Republican on the Committee of Jurisdiction in the upper chamber, that he will come to Congress, testify on a quarterly basis, because it took so much negotiation, so many conversations to even get him across the finish line and get the support of skeptical Republicans who are concerned about his views on vaccines, about the measles outbreak. Certainly he's going to face questions on that, about the autism research that RFK Jr. said the NIH will continue to do and begin to do. And so many senators have questions for him, not only Democrats, but Republicans, of course, too.
Julie, we just got one more question about this plane. The plane. I know. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, he's actually planning to place a hold on President Trump's remaining Justice Department nominations over the administration saying that they're going to accept this plane. Tell us more about that and what it ultimately does mean for the nominations and for the Justice Department and its functioning.
So Democrats can only slow walk these nominations, right? It's a big deal that he's doing this, but he's not like blocking them from going forward. He is just temporarily pausing them or slowing them down because Democrats don't control any part of government. That's pretty much all they can do to conduct their oversight of this. But you mentioned you've been asking a lot of questions about this plane. We've been asking so many questions about this plane, too, on Capitol Hill. And Republicans as well have a lot of concerns about this. We heard from the top Republican in the Senate yesterday, Leader John Thune, who said they have a lot of questions about what this will mean, the national security concerns. But at this point, they still say this is a hypothetical. They've received no official documentation from the Department of Justice or communication from the administration that this is going forward. If and when it does, they will have a lot of questions to ask.
All right, Julie, thank you.
Thank you. Well, severe storms that are packing heavy rain are threatening millions of people across the mid-Atlantic. In Maryland on Tuesday, unprecedented flooding actually stranded students and staff inside an elementary school. We're going to show you this video. It shows several cars floating in these floodwaters. Now, the entire parking lot was completely underwater. It trapped more than 100 kids and teachers. They were forced to evacuate by boat as this water rushed into the building and actually made it up to the second floor. That same system, it's responsible for a tornado. It ripped across northeast North Carolina yesterday. You can see this significant damage left behind. And all this is happening as massive wildfires fueled by hot, dry air are burning in Minnesota. Dozens of structures have been destroyed, and officials say those fires are 0% contained this morning. NBC meteorologist Bill Cairns has the details.
A life-threatening flash flood emergency in western Maryland, trapping 150 students and 50 adults inside Westernport Elementary School.
Yeah, it is floating.
Allegheny County Emergency Services says floodwater breached the second floor of the school. Cars and debris seen floating in the school parking lot as people waded through waist-deep water to get to the school entrance.
There's some kids on the boat now.
Authorities say they safely evacuated everyone inside the school by boat, transporting them to the other side of the flooded railroad tracks where students were reunited with parents. One child carried out on an adult's shoulders in chest-deep water. School officials say students at several other schools cannot be evacuated and will be with school personnel until emergency services determine they are able to be transported safely. The rising water rushing through the streets, pouring into residential structures. The National Weather Service declaring a particularly dangerous situation in Westernport and neighboring communities, urging residents to seek higher ground now. As the dangerous situation unfolds out east, multiple wildfires raging in Minnesota.
They are 0% contained at this time. These are dangerous fires that are still moving, still threatening.
The governor calling in the National Guard as 3 major fires burning more than 20,000 acres near Duluth. Officials say at least 80 structures have burned.
It is nerve-wracking. This is our world. This is what we have. I retired here. This is my forever home.
Michael Christensen and his wife among the dozens of families told to evacuate. So far, no injuries have been reported, but authorities say fires of this nature are rare for Minnesota.
The weather the last few days is just really unprecedented. Really low humidity, high winds that has allowed fires to spread really quickly.
Wow. Okay, let's get a closer look at how those severe weather threats may affect your area with your Morning News Now weather.
Angie Lassman's here in the studio with us. Hi, Angie. Good morning. Hi, ladies. Good morning to you. We've got some good news when it comes to the rain across places like Maryland. That's going to start to lessen up here as we get through the day today, but we're not completely done with it across the Northeast. You can see Philadelphia to New York dealing with that rain right now. So still some morning downpours that we're going to have to deal with, and it'll kind of remain scattered across this region as we get through the day today. The Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast is going to still see some of those scattered showers in the picture, but nothing compared to what we were dealing with yesterday with all that heavy rain. But of course, we already saw the flooding concerns from yesterday's rain, so any additional not going to be great, although we don't have any flood alerts in effect at this hour, but we still have the potential to see another 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch across parts of the I-95 corridor, and then back to the west across the Ohio Valley, maybe up to an inch here as we get through at least Friday. Now, looking ahead to later today, we're going to watch parts of the plains because that's where this next storm system emerges from, and this means that we ramp up kind of the severe weather threat from now through the end of our work week across parts of really the east of the Rockies. Here's what we're watching today. The afternoon threat will be centered across parts of the Dakotas and Nebraska, and then tomorrow it becomes more expansive. So we're talking Wisconsin to Ohio for the severe likelihood, and then we'll even still see some of these heavier downpours and gusty winds centered across parts of Minnesota and parts of the upper Midwest. By the time Friday rolls around, some rain showers for the Northeast. We've got some of that along the cold front as well, stretching down through the Tennessee Valley, and then still more of that rain across parts of the Midwest as well. Here's the area to watch today. Bismarck to North Platte. Damaging hail is going to be the biggest picture kind of thing that we'll have to watch for. We'll see many folks, though, tomorrow under this severe threat with a more expansive area included. 41 million people, specifically if you live in Chicago, Green Bay, Grand Rapids, that's where you have that enhanced risk. But Detroit, Minneapolis, and stretching down to Louisville all could see some of those stronger storms developing too, and we could potentially see a couple of tornadoes possible with that as well. Looking ahead to the weekend, specifically Friday, we'll have some of those severe storms across the Ohio Valley, guys. It'll remain hot across the middle of the country, and then the showers and storms as we kick off our weekend across the Northeast.
All right, April showers bring May showers.
Yeah.
Bring May showers. Isn't that nice?
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you. Much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, want to get away? You're not alone. Memorial Day travel now expected to break records. What you need to know before you make your plans.
Up first, though, after the break, emotional testimony from reality star Kim Kardashian as she faces the suspects accused in a multi-million-dollar jewelry heist nearly a decade ago. We'll have the latest from a Paris courtroom. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Reality TV star Kim Kardashian faced her alleged attackers in a Parisian courtroom on Tuesday, recounting the moment she was tied up at gunpoint and robbed back in 2016. NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez has more.
Kim Kardashian making an emotional appearance in a Paris court, testifying for 5 hours against the gang accused of holding her at gunpoint, tying her up, and stealing nearly $10 million of her jewelry. I was sure that was when they were going to shoot, so I said a prayer, she told the court. I absolutely thought I was going to die. Kardashian describing the night in 2016 when robbers disguised as police burst into the luxury apartment where she was staying. A nightmare she'd relived before.
And, he grabbed me and pulled me towards him, but I wasn't wearing anything underneath. So I was like, okay, this is like the time I'm going to get raped.
Kardashian telling the court that her hands, mouth, and feet were tied with tape, and that after the robbers left, she hid in the bushes, fearing they could return. Saying, I didn't know what was in their minds, so I was not going to take any chances. Her lawyers addressing the media.
What was it like for your client after nearly 9 years to come face to face with the people who allegedly put her through this?
It was a heroic effort on her part. Obviously, she testified this was a devastating experience for her. It fundamentally changed the arc of her life.
The 10 defendants nicknamed the Grandpa Gang because many of them are in their 60s and 70s.
In the French criminal justice system, defendants don't plead guilty or not guilty the way they do in the U.S.
But some have admitted responsibility, including Omar Ait Kadesh, known as Old Omar. The 69-year-old, now deaf and mute, wrote a letter of apology, which was read aloud in court. Kardashian tearing up as she offered her forgiveness, but said his actions had changed her life forever.
All right, our thanks to Raf Sanchez for that report.
Now let's get to the war in Gaza, where dozens of people, including several children, were killed in Israeli airstrikes overnight.
NBC's Matt Bodner joins us with that and other world headlines. Matt, good morning.
Christine, Savannah, good morning. Another brief ceasefire in Gaza has ended, bringing with it Israeli strikes on hospitals in the Gaza Strip. At least 48 people have been killed in these strikes, 22 of them children. The targets were the European hospital complex near Khan Yunis. Israel says it was targeting a Hamas command center located below the hospital. Another strike targeted the Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis itself. Yesterday, Prime Minister Netanyahu said the IDF would be going into Gaza, quote, with full force, that the war would not end until Hamas is destroyed. Moving along now to Brussels, a bomb threat aboard an arriving Ryanair flight saw Belgium's second largest airport closed yesterday. Security forces set up a perimeter around the aircraft after it landed, forcing a closure to the runway and airport operations overall. Passengers were disembarked from the plane and moved to a safe location away from the aircraft. Air traffic was eventually restored almost 4 hours later. And we'll wrap up this hour in New Zealand. You may think the island nation is most fond of the kiwi, but we're learning that New Zealand now loves the feijoa. It's originally from South America, but no one has embraced the feijoa quite like the kiwis. The trees that produce them grow exceptionally well in New Zealand, and every April and May, people gather the fruit after it's fallen from trees and give them away to friends and family. It's become something of a thing. That said, the fruit's unique texture, flavor, and smell doesn't sit with everyone. Our colleague here in London, Zoe, she's from New Zealand. She's threatening to bring one to the newsroom. This is a developing story. Back to you guys.
What does it taste like?
Yeah, or smell like.
Is it sweet?
I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, all right. We expect an update tomorrow. Let's have that be your last headline tomorrow.
Sounds controversial.
Yeah, thanks,
All right,
Matt.
thanks, Matt.
Definitely.
Coming up, it's a medical breakthrough that could change and create lives.
When we come back, we'll take you to MIT, where a team of researchers is developing a skin patch for women going through IVF treatments. This is Morning News Now.
Welcome back. The FDA is moving to take prescription fluoride drops and tablets for kids off the market. The agency, which is now overseen by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., announced it's starting the process to remove the products, which have previously been prescribed to kids at high risk for cavities. Well, the FDA now argues that ingestible fluoride could pose risks, including gut issues, thyroid disorders, even possible IQ impacts. Mr. Kennedy has long argued that fluoride is harmful. Many dentists, though, strongly disagree, warning the move could set kids' dental health back decades. The agency's review is expected to wrap up by October.
All right, this morning we're taking a closer look at some groundbreaking technology being built at an MIT lab. A team of researchers is working to create a patch that can deliver hormones through the skin. NBC Boston reporter Priscilla Casper explains how this could be a game changer for women taking daily hormone injections as part of IVF treatments.
Using IVF to start a family, both rewarding and sometimes painful. Daily hormone injections are no one's favorite part of the process, and if researchers at MIT are successful, they will no longer have to be. The MIT Media Lab is testing out seamless patches on the skin that can be used as an alternative to injections to get medicine and hormones into the body.
Instead of having very painful and stressful shots on your abdominal skin, this technology with no needle association will enable you to be having those hormones in timely manner in your body.
Associate Professor Dr. Jananda Devaran says this could help make the IVF process for women comfortable. These patches use painless ultrasonic waves which create bubbles within the drug, and after a certain frequency, the bubbles burst and the fluid penetrates through the skin.
It can just travel through the tissue on the sternum corneum, on the top layer of the skin, and creates temporary porous structures, which allows these drugs to be absorbed.
In addition to hormones passing through the skin, this patch has the potential to be used to deliver treatments for skin conditions like age spots, dark spots, and burns.
All right, our thanks to Priscilla Casper for that report. The MIT team says this technology is still very much in its early stages, but the results so far, they tell us, are encouraging.
Oh my gosh, I mean, that's just incredible. What a difference it could make. All right, now it's time for your weekly medical checkup. Today, we're going to look at a new study suggesting that childhood sports could help protect against mental health issues later in life.
Plus, why clocking too many hours on the job might actually change the structure of your brain.
NBC News medical contributor Dr. Vin Gupta joins us to discuss these health headlines. Good morning, Dr. Gupta. Always great to see you. So let's start with the study on sports we just mentioned. I mean, we know exercise is important at every age, but actually there's something different here that this is discussing organized sports specifically in early childhood and how it could protect kids' mental health. What did it find?
Yeah, good morning, Savannah and Christine. What this found was that kids actually tend to drop off in their physical activity, believe it or not, between the ages of 5 and 11. But that those that started playing organized sports 11 onwards, daily activities, soccer, you name it, then amongst boys and girls that there was a decline, statistically significant decline in the onset of anxiety and depression. And they especially if boys did it every day, was a 29% reduction in the risk of depression, anxiety. For girls, it was about 20%. So doctor's orders here, start kids early when it comes to organized sports. Everyone benefits from just activity, and practice pays off.
Doctor, this next study found that working long hours may actually change the structure of your brain.
Oh, good.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
How many hours a week are we talking about here? And is there anything you can do to protect your brain against these changes? And I'm assuming it doesn't make your brain better to work around the clock.
Yeah, unfortunately, this was a study that looked at folks that work 52 hours a week or more. I know the two of you can be guilty of that occasionally, and anybody in media. And actually studied a lot of healthcare workers, too. And what it found was if you work over 52 hours a week persistently, that the parts of our brain, Christine, that really oversee our executive functioning, our emotions, our cognitive function, that those actually start to shrink. I mean, this is not a happy study. And so when we think about doctor's orders here, it is important it's easy to say this, but to the extent that it is possible, breaks are key. And it's always important to think about your long-term health. But what we're seeing here is that there's a clear correlation between overwork and the ways in which healthy aging might be hard to do if you're used to working very long hours.
Well, here's some good news, I think, maybe, hopefully, in this next study, another study that shows that if you feel appreciated at work, that can actually help employees cope with negative work experiences. It sounds kind of obvious, but is there anything to this study?
What it found was that there's ups and downs in our work life, of course, and that those moments, Savannah, where we're feeling like we're being tasked with illegitimate tasks or something that gives us some degree of heartburn, that if you're being recognized and given praise by your coworkers, that it actually does help mitigate things like feeling anxious, feeling depressed, feeling like you want to switch jobs. And so, from a doctor's orders perspective, recognize your coworkers. To your point, might sound obvious, but something that it's a good reminder to do. Communicate effectively. Always a good reminder.
Dr. Gupta, you're doing a great job. I just want you to know. And you are just a ray of sunshine every morning.
Oh, my gosh. And look at you coming to sit with me. I'm so happy you're here.
That was my recognition. That's the doctor's orders.
Did our brain go back to the correct shape? Thanks. Thanks, Dr. Gupta.
All right, coming up, the official start of summer now less than 2 weeks away. And what better way to celebrate than taking a trip?
Tens of millions of Americans are planning to travel for Memorial Day weekend. What you need to know before you book your vacay. You're watching Morning News Now. We are back with some money news for you now. Hundreds of Starbucks baristas across the country are walking off the job this morning, all because of a new dress code.
CNBC's Savannah Hanau joins us now with that and other money news this morning. Good morning, Savannah.
Hey, Christine. Hey, Savannah. Good morning to you. That's right. So hundreds of Starbucks baristas have walked off the job these past few days to protest the company's new dress code. And the union that represents the baristas says the strikes have occurred at more than 50 stores. For some context, Starbucks has more than 10,000 in the U.S. The dress code requires employees to wear solid black tops and does also have new rules on pants. Now, the union says this won't improve operations. Starbucks says there's been no major disruption and most stores are operating as usual. YouTube will exclusively stream an NFL game for free during week 1 of the 2025 season. The game, which will feature the Los Angeles Chargers, will take place in Brazil on September 5th. YouTube TV has streamed the NFL Sunday Ticket package since 2023, but this is the first time it's broadcasting a game. Now, YouTube says the game will feature content creators and an interactive viewing experience. And Google is testing an AI mode on its homepage. So this new feature, which isn't widely available yet, is located right beneath the search bar beside a Google search button, replacing the I'm feeling lucky widget. So Google has been trying to grow its user base as ChatGPT remains popular. Gemini has about 35 million daily active users, while ChatGPT has an estimated 160 million, guys.
Wow.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
So many people using these. Thank you, Savannah.
Yeah.
Well, this morning, the countdown to Memorial Day and the unofficial start of summer is on. If you plan to travel for the holiday, be warned. AAA predicts this year will be the busiest, Memorial Day on record.
It's been a really busy couple of years.
Yeah.
More than 45 million Americans are expected to travel at least 50 miles from home between May 22nd and May 26th this year. And the majority of those travelers will be hitting the road. They'll be doing it by car.
Katie Nastro from the travel website Going joins us with more on this,
Hi,
as
Katie.
she always does on these travel stories. Katie, great to see you, have you in studio. So walk us through the numbers. We said most people are driving, but what do we know about how many are doing that? How many are trying to take a flight, that kind of thing?
Yeah, look, majority of people for Memorial Day opt to hit the road. So we're actually seeing a 3% increase year over year versus 2024. And then if you look at the numbers by air, it's actually only an increase of 1.8%. And with everything going on, that's not surprising. We've actually seen since the back half of 2024 slower growth than we've seen in recent years of people boarding a flight. And typically, because it's a shorter weekend, we don't see these long trips. So big international trips, not exactly on the table, but quick, 2-3 hour flights. That's really what people are going to prioritize. But what's really interesting is the increase in the other category, according to AAA. This is buses, trains, cruises. That's really a category that's been gaining interest in the last few years. And it's really telling us that travelers are shifting the type of travel that they're looking into.
Interesting. So about the cruises, more people opting for the cruise for the long weekend potentially. What are some of the top destinations?
Yeah, it makes sense that cruising is having its moment, so to speak, especially amongst Gen Z and millennial travelers. There's actually 15% increase in the interest of younger demographics. But places like Orlando, places like Miami, even New York, Seattle, these are all port cities. And as well as some of the cities on the list, people tend to do a city escape before that peak summer temperature sets in during the height of summer. So Memorial Day is a great way to sort of get a little bit of a city break, but also if you are hopping on a cruise, going to a port city.
There you go. Okay, girl, tell us how to get a deal. I know even if it's kind of late, I guess if you're booking a Memorial Day weekend travel, but what can you get?
Yeah, we're still seeing some deals, New York to Nashville for $127 round trip. That's if you're flexible over Memorial Day. So our biggest tip over at Going is you want to avoid that Friday. That's typically when we see the most amount of people heading to the airport, hitting the roads, as well as coming back on that Monday. So even if you just shift by one day, so say it's a Thursday to a Saturday, or maybe even the Saturday to a Tuesday, you're going to avoid the crowds, and you're actually going to see prices 20% cheaper on average. So we really suggest be a little bit flexible, as well as take advantage of your price alert tools. Google Travel has the ability now. You can track prices on hotels. And if you get a price drop for a hotel, you can just rebook. Make sure you don't put any money down, as well as flight alerts at the Going app. You set a flight alert after you've booked so you can take advantage, call the airline, rebook, and get that credit.
Did you say New York, Nashville, 144?
127.
The parking is more expensive than that. I'm not kidding.
Public transport. Take public transport. That's great. That'd be a fun Memorial Day weekend spot, too. Katie Nastro, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Nice to see you, Katie.
Coming up, back in the game, baseball's all-time hit leader, Pete Rose, now eligible for the Hall of Fame.
More on his posthumous reinstatement decades after he was banned. Morning News Now. We'll be right back. All right, baseball's all-time hit king is officially back in the game.
Yeah, Major League Baseball has announced, after a seemingly endless debate and long consideration, that Pete Rose, along with other former players, have been taken off the league's permanently ineligible list. Rose, who died last September at the age of 83, was banned decades ago after it was revealed he bet on baseball while he was a player and manager. Now, this move means he will be eligible for enshrinement in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
So for more on this, we're now joined by a friend of the show, Keith Law, senior baseball writer for The Athletic. Keith, good morning, and thanks for joining us. A lot of people talking about this. Pete Rose had long denied ever betting on baseball, but in his 2004 book, My Prison Without Bars, he admitted betting on his own team. Explain to us this decision by Commissioner Rob Manfred, and why now?
Yeah, it is a little bit surprising. So the decision is that any player who's on that permanently, obviously that word doesn't mean what I thought it meant, ineligible list, players who have since passed away may be reinstated off of that list. In other words, he's redefining the list to say that it only lasts as long as the player or manager, whoever's banned, is alive. And what this really does procedurally is allow them to be considered for the Hall of Fame. It doesn't really do a whole lot else, which leads to the question of why now? Well, one, I think this is pretty clearly an attempt to curry favor with President Trump, who's made some noises about wanting to see Pete Rose reinstated. Major League Baseball has a number of things coming up, like a big CBA negotiation where the federal government may get involved, or Trump may simply make some statements. So this may be an attempt to get into his good graces. Also, I believe tonight is Pete Rose night in Cincinnati anyway. They're playing the White Sox. Several former White Sox players were also reinstated. I'm going to guess that had something to do with the specific timing of this announcement.
I guess the whole point of banning him was to protect the integrity of the games and message to other players, about messing around with gambling. So, I mean, is that a mixed message to current players?
I certainly think so. I am not in favor of reinstating any of these players. It's not just specific to Rose. They broke the most significant rule in baseball. If you can commit such a thing as a crime against baseball, this is the biggest one. He bet on games, all of these players bet on games in which they were specifically involved. And while Pete Rose did sort of admit what he'd done, he never fully came clean or fully made amends for what he did, betting specifically on games when he was managing, not all games, so that it was very clear there were some games where maybe he wasn't trying as hard, or he was simply sending a signal to the bookmakers, hey, I don't think we're going to win tonight, but I think we're going to win tomorrow because I'm betting on that game instead. So I agree. I think this is a bit of a slap in the face to people who've spent their lives not just in the sport, but trying to protect its integrity as a whole.
You mentioned White Sox players also reinstated here. That included shoeless Joe Jackson, 7 of his teammates. They were accused of intentionally losing the 1919 World Series. That was famously dubbed the Black Sox scandal. Remind us about this scandal and what we should know about their reinstatement.
So that was a situation where the players felt that they were grossly underpaid by White Sox owner Charlie Comiskey. They were approached by some gamblers who offered them, by modern standards, a very modest payment to throw the World Series. And it was only specific games, too. They were supposed to lose enough games to lose the whole series, but there were only certain games where the gamblers were going to make their money by betting against the White Sox in that particular World Series. And it later came out, what they did later came out, and shoeless Joe Jackson was accused of, he was pretty clearly one of the conspirators, but even players like Buck Weaver, who didn't take the money from the gamblers, did play his best during the series. He was also placed on the ineligible list because he knew of the conspiracy and didn't do anything about it. And so these players, if you've seen the movie 8 Men Out or read the book about it, it's been sort of part of baseball lore for 100 years. If you bet on baseball, if you're involved in betting on baseball, you're out.
Wow, amazing. I mean, I remember seeing Pete Rose at Cooperstown maybe 3 years ago in the summer, and he was signing autographs for $50 a piece at the Hall of Fame. It was just like that.
And he really wanted to get in.
Yeah.
He did.
All right, nice to see you, Keith. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Well, finally this hour, it was a historic win for the WNBA when Natalie Nakase, was appointed head coach of the brand new Golden State Valkyries, becoming the first Asian American head coach in league history. I actually got to speak to her right here on Morning News Now last year, shortly after she was named head coach. Well, now she's finally getting ready to tip off the team's first season. NBC News correspondent Kathy Park is courtside for us.
When the Golden State Valkyries officially tip off this season, they'll be making history as the WNBA's first expansion team in over 15 years, now led by the league's first Asian American head coach, Natalie Nakase.
How
How are you channeling the spirit of a Valkyrie?
Women warrior?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all about it. I've been fighting my whole life to get to certain spots.
Nakase is a third-generation Japanese-American, a walk-on at UCLA who climbed the ranks, from the LA Clippers coaching bench to helping lead the Las Vegas Aces to back-to-back titles.
The reason I'm here is because of my dad. I was really lucky to have a parent that not only loved me unconditionally, but he pushed me beyond my limits.
That tough love became her fuel.
Doesn't matter how tall you are. I mean, I'm 5'1" 3/4". I've always been the only girl. Walking into the NBA gym and all guys, it's the same.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Now her impact is reaching far beyond the court.
Do you feel like there is more responsibility now?
Yeah, you're impacting lives.
What does she look like?
She kind of looks like us.
It's phenomenal to see someone that looks like you and to say, yeah, I can do it.
A reflection of the times, with more fans believing in their own shot. Kathy Park, NBC News, San Francisco.
All right, that does it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us, though. The news continues right now. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday. I'm Savannah Sellers.
And I'm Christine Romans in for Joe this morning, who's on vacation. Right now on Morning News Now, pomp and controversy. President Trump's Middle East diplomacy tour continues this morning. Mr. Trump meeting Syria's new leader, a former Islamist rebel leader once imprisoned by the U.S. before traveling to Qatar, the country that is gifting the commander-in-chief a $400 million jumbo jet to be used as Air Force One. That historic gesture continuing to raise eyebrows and alarms on Capitol Hill. We're covering it all in just a moment. Also this morning, damaging claims about the mental fitness of former President Joe Biden. The new book now painting the picture of an aging president kept out of the spotlight by a tightly knit inner circle of staffers, how Mr. Biden's team is responding. Plus, a new path toward freedom for brothers Eric and Lyle Menendez. This morning, an L.A. judge now making parole possible for the convicted killers after yesterday's resentencing. More on that, as here in New York, Cassie Ventura, the ex-girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs, takes the witness stand in his federal sex trafficking trial. How her shocking testimony could play into the jury's verdict. And later this hour, I got my own way of talking, as Tom Petty once sang in Southern accents. But is that distinctive drawl now on the way out? Why experts say the accent made famous by everyone from Dolly Parton to Parker Posey on The White Lotus could soon become a thing of the past. Say
Can I get
so, y'all.
Hyper, no.
We begin in the Middle East, though, this morning, where President Trump, is set to arrive in Qatar for the second leg of his trip to the Middle East.
Yeah, his visit to the country comes amid growing concerns over his administration's plans to accept a luxury jet as a gift from Qatar's royal family. NBC News Chief White House Correspondent Peter Alexander is traveling with the president, and he joins us live from Doha, Qatar, with the latest. Peter, good morning.
Christine and Savannah, good morning to both of you. President Trump touching down a short time ago here in Qatar. Of course, the country, as you note, that touched off those ethical and security questions with its offer to gift that luxury jumbo jet to the U.S. to be used as an Air Force One plane. The president overnight arguing that the jet would not be a gift to him, but to the U.S., and that only a fool wouldn't accept it, comparing it to France gifting the U.S. the Statue of Liberty more than 140 years ago. All of this as the president this morning met with Syria's new president, the first face-to-face meeting between leaders of those two countries in 25 years. This morning, President Trump traveling to Qatar. The next stop on his Middle East tour marked by pomp and pageantry and controversy. The president showcasing extraordinarily close relationships with leaders once distanced from the U.S., including Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
I've seen tremendous unity, tremendous friendship.
President Trump even extending an olive branch to Iran, but only if it gives up its nuclear ambitions.
I want to make a deal with Iran.
The president today meeting briefly with Syria's new president, the former leader of a group the U.S. previously called a terrorist organization. After announcing he'll lift sanctions on Syria at the Saudi Crown Prince's urging.
I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness. Oh, what I do for the Crown Prince.
On Monday, the Crown Prince feting President Trump at a dinner after the president touted Saudi commitments to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in the U.S. The president lavishing his host with praise for what he says is his work to transform the region.
Mohammed, you sleep at night? How do you sleep? Huh?
But the stop today in Qatar coming with extra scrutiny after the country President Trump once called a funder of terrorism offered to gift the U.S. a luxury jumbo jet to be used as Air Force One.
You know, we're the United States of America. I believe that we should have the most impressive plane.
Top Republicans among those questioning the proposed deal.
The plane poses significant espionage and surveillance problems. So we'll see how this issue plays out. But I certainly have concerns.
3 aviation experts tell NBC News that converting a Qatari-owned 747 jet into a new Air Force One would involve installing multiple top-secret systems, cost more than $1 billion, and likely take years to complete. The project, notably, might also not be completed until the end of President Trump's term, even after that, in 2029, when the plane's expected to be handed over to Trump's Presidential Library Foundation. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Peter. Over on Capitol Hill, several Trump administration officials expected to testify later today.
Yeah, among them are Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Cirin joins us now this morning. Julie, what are these hearings all about? What are you expecting today?
Yeah, so RFK Jr., Kristi Noem, and Sean Duffy, who is the Transportation Secretary, all expected on the Hill today in the House and the Senate. They are testifying, basically asking Congress for the budget that they need to run their agencies. Of course, Congress controls the purse strings to the federal government, so this is really important, but it is also a chance for Democrats and Republicans to conduct some oversight. For Democrats, this is pretty much all they can do because they don't have power in any part of this government. For Republicans, though, many questions remain, especially to RFK Jr. He had to work really hard to get Senate Republicans on board for his confirmation in January. Senator Bill Cassidy, who's the top Republican on the Committee of Jurisdiction, has concerns over his stances on vaccines. Of course, that autism report that RFK Jr. said that he ordered the National Institutes of Health to cobble together, and the measles outbreak, over 1,000 cases marked just this week. So a lot to talk to him about, and of course the others too.
Julie, we also saw internal divisions emerge as House Republicans worked overnight to advance President Trump's tax cut package. Again, even just among Republicans. How did the debates go, and what are some of the biggest sticking points here?
Well, they went well into the night. Some of them even this morning still sitting trying to haggle over which provisions will ultimately end up in this big, beautiful bill, as the president calls it. It is a big bill, right? He wants to extend his 2017 tax cuts. The Senate wants to make them permanent. That's going to cost a lot of money. But remember, they also pledged to cut the deficit by at least $1.5 trillion. That's where you get in to those reforms to Medicaid. So many Americans relying on that key program, especially in rural states. Republicans representing those in the Senate, Josh Hawley, for example, of Missouri, raising serious concerns that hospitals there in rural areas might not be able to operate and function as needed with the kind of reforms and cuts that Republicans in the House are planning to do to Medicaid. So it can run into a lot of problems if and when this bill even passes the House. Mike Johnson, the speaker there, telling me last night that he hopes to get this on the floor next week before Memorial Day. But so much to iron out there, from taxes to Medicaid to energy tax credits. And of course, this bill is expected to be changed in the Senate if and when it gets there.
And Julie, flying high above everything is that plane. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer planning to place a hold on President Trump's remaining Justice Department nominations over the administration's plan to accept this plane from Qatar, $400 million gift from a foreign country. Tell us more about that and the broader reaction from lawmakers.
Well, it's really all Democrats can do is try to slow walk the confirmation process for the remaining nominees, but they can't block them entirely. Republicans have control, of course, over the Senate, and so they really dictate that process. Democrats did try to pass 2 non-binding resolutions yesterday. One of them would reaffirm the role that Congress plays in approving any transactions, any gifts that are given by foreign governments to the president. Another resolution just disapproving of this entire thing. Republicans, though, do have questions. The top Republican in the Senate saying this when we pressed him. Watch.
This is a hypothetical, and I'm sure that if and when there is, it's no longer a hypothetical. I can assure you there will be plenty of scrutiny of whatever that arrangement might look like. There are lots of issues around that I think will attract very serious questions if and when it happens.
The Senate Majority Leader John Thune there. You heard Ted Cruz, when Peter was talking, of course, talk about those espionage concerns. Other Republicans also talking about Qatar as a country that harbors terrorist organizations. And so a lot of concerns here, not only if the president can actually accept this gift, but also national security concerns. And if this is even feasible, I guess we'll see.
All right, Julie Sirkin, thank you so much.
Thanks, Julie. Well, now to a new book alleging that former President Joe Biden's inner circle had concerns about his mental and physical fitness during the 2024 campaign. Listen to some of these details raising eyebrows. Then President Biden, this book alleges, did not recognize actor George Clooney at a fundraising event and forgot the names of longtime aides. NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez is live in Washington for us with the details on this book. Hey, Gabe, good morning.
Hey there, Savannah. Good morning. This book had been highly anticipated here in Washington, and the authors note they spoke to about 200 sources, and many of them did not think Biden could ably serve a second term. The former president's team is now pushing back hard against allegations he put his pride above his country. This morning, top Democrats facing questions over former President Biden's health and role in the last election.
Do you think Biden deserves the blame for the loss in 2020? 2024?
Katie, we're looking forward.
Well before that disastrous debate that rocked his campaign and eventually led him to drop out of the race.
If we finally beat Medicare.
Then President Biden was showing troubling signs of cognitive decline, according to a new book set to be published next week. NBC News obtained a copy of Original Sin by journalists Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, which depicts an aging president being protected by his inner circle. The authors write it was, quote, obvious to many at a fundraiser last summer that then President Biden did not know who George Clooney was, even though they were longtime acquaintances, and Clooney was one of the most famous men in the world. The book goes on to claim former President Obama, who was also at the event, had to hop in and finish sentences for Biden during photo ops. In separate excerpts, the authors write Biden would forget the names of longtime aides and that there were internal discussions about putting the president in a wheelchair in his second term. Still, publicly, the White House aggressively defended the president's fitness for office while arranging for him to climb shorter stairs to Air Force One. Last week, Biden and the former First Lady sat down for an interview on The View, where he was asked about claims he'd experienced cognitive decline.
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. We went to work, and we got it done. And, one of the things
Alyssa, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us.
A Biden spokesperson now says the authors did not fact-check the book with his team and provided no evidence Biden did not do his job, adding he was a very effective president. Savannah?
All right, Gabe, thank you.
The Menendez brothers have new hope for freedom this morning after a California judge resentenced them to 50 years to life in prison. Eric and Lyle Menendez have been behind bars for decades, but are now eligible for parole nearly 30 years after being convicted in the shotgun killings of their parents. NBC News senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett has all the latest details.
Hey there, good morning. Emotions in court running high, with the tensions only growing as it became clear the judge planned to rule there right there on the spot, guys. A striking moment to cap off what has already been a long and twisting process with potential legal curveballs still left to come.
Eric and Lyle Menendez on a new path toward freedom this morning after a judge in Los Angeles agreed to make them eligible for parole.
Redemption is possible.
The brothers appearing in blue jumpsuits on a remote video feed, addressing the judge and their family members during an emotional day in court, openly acknowledging they shot and killed their parents in their Beverly Hills mansion in 1989 and apologizing for trying to cover it up. Lyle breaking down in tears, saying, "I was scared, but I was also filled with rage. I am deeply ashamed of who I was." Eric adding, "I take full responsibility for my crimes. I lied to police. I lied to my family. I am truly sorry." Their sensational televised murder trial, which transfixed the nation in the early 90s, is now seen by many in a different light, with renewed focus on the disturbing allegations that the brothers endured years of abuse from their father, highlighted in several popular streaming series and documentaries. Family members who've supported them weeping in court as the judge announced his decision, reducing the brothers' life sentences to 50 years, now carrying the possibility of parole under California law.
They're coming home. They're not going to die in prison. We know that. We found that out today. And so that's huge.
The prosecution opting not to call any witnesses. Instead, the district attorney, who recently withdrew his office's support of the brothers' resentencing effort, has focused on the danger they could pose if freed.
Their risk level is no longer low. It is moderate. There's a moderate risk of violence.
The judge ultimately unpersuaded by those arguments, but not releasing the brothers immediately, as the defense had urged, saying that's not happening today, but they've done enough to have that chance.
As for what happens next, this will now move to the parole board there in California, which has several months, not days, to decide what to do here. And then even after that, Governor Gavin Newsom could intervene. Back to you guys.
All right, Laura Jarrett. Thanks, Laura.
Well, it's day 3 in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. His ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, is set to take the stand again this morning. Yesterday, she delivered some explosive and at times disturbing testimony. Ventura detailed how controlling and abusive she said Combs was during their relationship. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas is following this case. She has more.
Hey there, Cassie Ventura, who is 38 years old and currently 8 months pregnant with her third child, came face to face yesterday in the courtroom with Sean Combs, who she says controlled every aspect of her life since she was 22 years old.
After an emotional day of bombshell testimony by Cassie Ventura, the prosecution's star witness will return to the stand this morning in the federal criminal trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors playing a crucial piece of evidence Tuesday, a version of this security video first obtained by CNN that shows Combs brutally beating Ventura in a hotel hallway in 2016. Ventura testifying that this violent incident was the result of her leaving a freak-off, sexual encounters controlled and often recorded by Combs. She says that day that she had planned on going to a movie premiere, but things got physical in the hotel room, with Combs giving her a black eye. Ventura telling jurors while he was distracted, I just got my stuff and ran out, and the next thing I knew, I was thrown to the ground. During Monday's opening statements, Combs' attorneys called the incident indefensible and dehumanizing, but arguing it's simply a case of domestic violence. At times, Ventura crying on the witness stand, testifying her self-worth took a hit during the entirety of their 10-year relationship that included years of physical and psychological abuse. Ventura describing Combs as scary and violent, controlling every aspect of her life, from her appearance to her music career, with all decisions having to go through Sean. The singer testifying the freak-offs were at times weekly and consistent, lasting up to 4 days, involving male escorts and drugs provided by Combs. I felt disgusting, humiliated, Ventura said on the stand. His eyes would go black. The version I knew of him was no longer there. She says she accepted the responsibility because she was in love and wanted to make him happy. But eventually, she says, the relationship became a job for her. Combs, who faces up to life in prison if convicted, has maintained his innocence, signaling this heart sign to his family while in court.
Ventura is expected to be back on the stand for her second day of testimony today, and we could see Combs' legal defense team cross-examine her as early as this afternoon. Back to you.
All right, Chloe, thank you. NBC News legal analyst Angela Sinadella joins us now with more on this. We heard, good morning, all of this disturbing testimony. I mean, gross and disturbing testimony. Including, we saw this infamous hotel video that CNN aired a couple of years ago. How important is all of that into this case against Sean Diddy Combs?
So I really believe that this hotel video is going to be the linchpin. It is pivotal. It is the reason why I believe the prosecution is likely going to win this case. And this is why. We already know that the defense's strategy is going to be consensuality, that all of these women were willingly able and competent and choosing to be a part of this relationship. And that even if you don't agree with their sex acts, that is not necessarily illegal. But then when you see on this video a woman trying to run away, and then the man actually forcibly assaulting her in order to physically drag her back, that in itself goes against consensuality. Also, relationships can start as consensual. You can start in love and then quickly turn into force, fraud, and coercion, which is the definition of sex abuse here.
So, Angela, the video, as the defense admits, I'm using their words, they say it's inexcusable, and they point, though, to domestic violence, which they note is not a federal crime. What is the prosecution's job look like here to move this from domestic violence to actually proving those charges of sex trafficking, of racketeering?
That's a great question. So that is why we are seeing so much testimony about Cassie saying that she felt controlled every step of the way, from the way she dressed, that when she tried to not engage in these sex acts, she tried to say that she didn't like it, she felt entirely dismissed. Because the definition of sex trafficking legally is persuading or exploiting someone into a commercial sex act through force, fraud, or coercion. Now, we can see there is some level of force, fraud, or coercion here through the video, right? But then the other part is the commercial sex act. That is defined very vaguely. It is literally just in exchange for anything of value. And when you know here that he is in charge of her music career, right, that he was the one who was producing the music, that in itself is something of value. So all the government has to do here is connect the dots. And when you see the scope of the relationship, you see the scope of the abuse, to me, it becomes clear.
Angela, she is the first of what is expected to be many women, several women, to testify. How important will it be to hear from other women about their experiences with these parties, I guess, that were arranged?
So I think it's also important to note that there were many, many accusers in these civil lawsuits, right? But the prosecutors only chose to include victims as witnesses who had either physical evidence or witness corroboration. So that means that these victims who remain unidentified, who come up and testify, they're going to have corroboration. So for the jury who might believe here, okay, so maybe this was consensual, if they see multiple different examples of women having similar testimony and feeling forced as part of this conspiracy or criminal enterprise, I think that is going to strengthen the prosecution's case.
Angela Sanadella, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Well, parts of the country are bracing for more severe weather this week. On Tuesday, flooding forced the evacuation of a Maryland elementary school. And then across the South, temperatures are soaring with record heat in some areas. We're going to have your full forecast in just a moment, but we're going to begin with NBC News correspondent Ryan Chandler, who joins us now from Dallas. Hey, Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Listen, guys, Texas is used to triple digits. That's kind of par for the course around summertime here, but this is historically early. We were hoping we may have just a couple more weeks of spring before the brutal summer starts, but as expected, it could break 100 in Dallas today. Down on the border, it could get to 110 degrees across the country, from fires to this heat to flooding. We're seeing that severe weather season is trying to start early ahead of summer. This morning, a major cleanup is underway after drenching rains soaked the East Coast.
Those cars are floating right there.
Rising floodwaters strong enough to move cars and dumpsters. Dangerous flash flooding inundating western Maryland, with waters reaching the second floor of Westernport Elementary School.
There's some kids on the boat now.
About 200 students and staff had to be evacuated by boat. Emergency crews putting life jackets on the young students. One child carried out on an adult's shoulders through chest-deep water. While in Virginia, a 12-year-old boy was swept away by the fast-rising waters. Rescue efforts overnight paused until daybreak today. And across the South and through the plains, temperatures soaring, with parts of Texas expected to be among the hottest places on Earth. High winds and low humidity also raising the wildfire risk from Albuquerque to Minneapolis, with more than 20,000 acres already burning in Minnesota.
All of a sudden, I saw pure flames.
65-mile-per-hour winds in Arizona grounding fire planes as this spreading wildfire prompts evacuation orders. Early warning signs nationwide of a long, hot summer ahead. Yeah, and as of last update, those Minnesota wildfires still 0% contained. Back here in Texas, local emergency crews are stocking up on supplies ahead of an anticipated increase in heat-related emergency calls. The National Weather Service warning anybody who may be under those extreme heat warnings to take extra precautions. Savannah?
All right, Ryan, thank you very much.
We've got more on what to expect from the severe threats of rain and heat now with your morning news now weather.
Yeah, let's see what's going on in your area. Angie Lassman's with us in studio. Hey, Angie, good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Ryan just mentioned it. You want to take some extra precautions here across parts of Texas because we have those heat alerts up, those extreme heat advisories and extreme heat warnings in effect for places like Austin, Waco, stretching down to Corpus Christi and out towards the border for Del Rio. These are going to stay in effect through the day today, including a total of 6 million people, and you can see why. We've got the potential to see more record heat across this region. We dealt with this yesterday across these same spots, and today we're going to take another run at those high 90s in Dallas, likely blowing away that record for today of 95 degrees. We've got 105 on tap for San Antonio, and it's triple digits for Laredo, McAllen, Del Rio, nearly 100 degrees in Houston today, and we're going to see a lot of these locations either break or tie that high temperature record for this date. Even as far north as Chicago here, as we get into tomorrow, we could see potential records being broken. 92 for Chicago, 92 for St. Louis. Shreveport tops out at 94 degrees, possibly tying a record high for tomorrow's date. And the big picture look of this is that we've really got an expansive area under these summer-like temperatures. So stretching down from the border of Mexico to the border of Canada, we've got temperatures running 10 to even close to 20 degrees above normal. Even places like upstate New York dealing with temperatures above normal. So we're going to see kind of a mixed bag of the cooler air settled in across parts of the west, but then really the central plains to points east over the next couple of days are talking warmer than normal temperatures. This is a look at tomorrow. 80s for Pittsburgh, high 80s for Chicago. Chattanooga ends up at 86 degrees, and we've got 90s across parts of the south. Even Wilmington ends up at 87 degrees. We roll into the end of the work week and into the weekend with more of the same. Really, this heat starts to spread farther to the east along the coast. It's the high 70s for New York City from Friday through Sunday. We've got 90s Friday and Saturday in Raleigh, and at least close to 90s by the time we end our weekend there. Mid-90s for Savannah, even Chicago. You're going to start off the weekend on Friday into the high 80s, but you end up into those low 60s by the time Sunday rolls around. So a little bit of a mixed bag there. We've also got some rain to track across the Northeast. This caused all that flooding issue that we saw yesterday, specifically across Maryland. We're going to see some improvements there as the day goes on. It'll mainly be just kind of some scattered showers, but then we really ramp up things again as we watch this next cold front emerge out into parts of the northern plains. It's going to be a slight risk kind of day across this region. Bismarck included in there, Sioux Falls. We have the chance to see some of that damaging hail, but then, guys, we'll really start to see our severe threat improve or ramp up rather, and not so much improve as we get into tomorrow and into our Friday.
My goodness, a lot going on.
Weekend alert.
Thank you.
Nice to see you,
Angie. Got it. Much more to come on this hour of Morning News Now. A little later, could you soon be flying Southwest on your next trip across the Atlantic? The airline's new federal filing that might just expand its horizons.
But first, after the break, Kim Kardashian on the witness stand in a Paris courtroom. Her emotional testimony coming face to face with the suspects accused of robbing her of millions of dollars worth of jewelry 9 years ago. Those stories and more next. Welcome back. It was an emotional day inside a French courtroom for Kim Kardashian yesterday. The reality star described the ordeal she endured back in 2016 when armed men entered her Paris hotel room, tied her up, and robbed her of nearly $10 million worth of jewelry. NBC News International correspondent Raf Sanchez has the latest from Paris.
Hey there, yeah, Kim Kardashian spent hour after hour on the witness stand inside this court, and she described how painful it was back in 2016 to see people posting on social media suggesting that the robbery was some kind of staged publicity stunt, when in fact she was the victim of a violent crime and truly believed she was going to die.
Over 5 hours of emotional testimony in a Paris court, Kim Kardashian reliving the terrifying night when armed robbers held her at gunpoint and stole nearly $10 million of her jewelry. I was sure that was when they were going to shoot, so I said a prayer, she told the court. I absolutely thought I was going to die. Kardashian arrived with her mother, Kris Jenner, and dressed defiantly in diamonds, including a ring strikingly similar to the $4 million engagement ring stolen back in 2016. And from the witness stand described how two men disguised as police burst into the luxury apartment where she was staying. While she's told her story before,
they held a gun up to the concierge that was downstairs and said, "Let us up to where's the robber's wife?"
Her testimony detailed how her hands, mouth, and feet were tied with tape. and how she pleaded, "I have babies. I need to get home to my babies." When the robbers finally left, she hid in bushes, fearing they'd come back to kill her. After the hearing, her lawyers addressing the media.
What was it like for your client after nearly 9 years to come face to face with the people who allegedly put her through this?
It was a heroic effort on her part. Obviously, she testified this was a devastating experience for her. It fundamentally changed the arc of her life.
The 10 defendants nicknamed the Grandpa Gang because several are in their 60s and 70s, including Omar Eight Kadesh, known as Old Omar. The 69-year-old, now deaf and unable to speak, wrote a letter of apology, which was read aloud in court. Kardashian, an advocate of criminal justice reform, teared up as she offered her forgiveness, but said his actions had changed her life forever.
And Kardashian said she used to post on social media in real time about where she was, what kind of jewelry she was wearing, but she believes that the robbers used those posts to target her. She doesn't do that anymore. She also said she doesn't keep jewelry in her house because she believes it makes her home a target for robbers. It potentially puts her children at risk. And finally, she said she has massively stepped up her family's security in the decades since the robbery. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Raf, thank you.
Well, this morning, President Trump says he's considering attending peace talks between Russia and Ukraine in Turkey if Russian President Vladimir Putin does attend.
NBC's Matt Bodner joins us with that and other world headlines. Matt, good morning.
Christine, Savannah, good morning. Russian President Vladimir Putin has yet to say whether or not he will accept Volodymyr Zelensky's proposal to meet him tomorrow in Istanbul for talks on how to end the war. The Kremlin this morning only confirmed that a Russian delegation will be present, but the Kremlin has not specified who will take part. It is likely to be led by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, but Zelensky has said he will not meet with any Russian officials other than Putin himself. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has said he will also divert to Istanbul to attend if Putin says he will go. Moving along to Uruguay, where former President Jose Mujica, popularly known as Pepe, has died at the age of 89. Mujica was a former guerrilla fighter who governed the country from 2010 to 2015. He projected an image of a humble everyman. Supporters would refer to him as the world's poorest president. Mujica's young life as a revolutionary was difficult. He was captured as a prisoner several times and subject to intense torture. He later joined the government as a lawmaker, and he was elected president when he was 74. Under his rule, Uruguay legalized abortion, recognized same-sex marriages, and became the first nation in the world to legalize marijuana. We'll wrap up this hour in Rome. Pope Leo yesterday paid visit to the headquarters of his own Augustinian order to celebrate Mass and have lunch with the congregation. Leo served as head of the order for 12 years, and he was actually elected by its membership to that position twice. The Augustinians trace their roots back to the 13th century as a community of mendicant friars who devoted their lives to poverty and service in the spirit of St. Augustine. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that. Thanks, Matt. All right, coming up, he's one of the greatest players to ever grace the field.
Now, decades after being barred from baseball's Hall of Fame, Pete Rose finally has a chance to be enshrined in Cooperstown glory. We'll explain next. We are back now with an NBC News investigation.
Women are coming forward decades after they say their pastor repeatedly sexually abused them. This is a pastor who is now currently running a camp for children. CNBC's Antonia Hilton teamed up with the NBC News Digital documentaries team for this story. Antonia, good morning. You spent months talking to the accusers and investigating allegations that go back to the 70s and 80s. Tell us about it.
That's right. Good morning. We have spent the last 6 months here at NBC News investigating a pastor named Joe Campbell. 5 women have come forward to NBC News detailing allegations of sexual abuse and rape, and we have spoken to dozens more who corroborate key details of their stories. As you mentioned, he still runs a camp and is involved in ministry now, so his accusers are speaking out. Take a look.
Father, it took your spirit to bring about the courage that is on display right here. And Lord, as these women who had their childhood taken from them by not only a man who should have known better, but a man who's never been held accountable, I pray you'll give them...
This prayer outside a police station in South Tulsa has been almost 40 years in the making.
Lord, I pray today that your spirit will precede these women when they file their reports. Lord, I pray you'll give them peace. We ask in Jesus' name. Okay, who would like to be first?
At the encouragement of law enforcement and supporters like this former pastor, 4 of the women here will file police reports detailing sexual abuse they say started when they were girls.
Be as specific as you can, but if you can't remember specifics, don't worry about it. This is just the report. Down the road, the investigation will take place.
This is the latest in a years-long effort to stop the man they say abused them. It's also the first time they've allowed cameras to follow them.
I don't remember not being at church. It was just, home away from home.
He was always surrounded by foster kids or kids with single moms. No dads in the house. Just kids that didn't have what the other kids had.
Joe Campbell was the children's pastor at our church. I just got a weird feeling about him.
How old were you when this was happening?
I remember when he started to pay the extra attention to me. I was an innocent little girl. This is the day I went to Springfield, Missouri for my trial.
NBC News spent the last 6 months following this group, and in the process found several others who described disturbing childhood experiences, including sexual assault by their former pastor, Joe Campbell. We also found dozens more who corroborated their stories.
Then on toward the end, a man requested that we swear on the Bible and speak the truth.
So, Antonia, after all these years, several allegations, have we heard from him at all, from Joe Campbell?
Our team made extensive and exhaustive efforts to reach Pastor Joe Campbell, including in-person visits in Missouri, and he has not responded to our many requests for comment, nor has a man named Jim Baker, who is a famous, disgraced televangelist here in the United States, who has welcomed Joe Campbell into his ministry. That's part of where Joe Campbell continues to have access to people, to families with kids. And we have not heard back from their team either. But one of our major messages right now is that if you have a story to share or you know something about this case or other cases, please reach out to NBC News. We're eager to hear from you and going to continue reporting on this story.
Spent 6 months digging in here.
Yeah. How can people do that?
You can reach me on social media.
Okay, great.
I also share my email publicly. Our viewers find me all the time. It's my first dot, my last name at NBCUni.com. This is an important story and line of reporting. And so we urge people to reach out to us, whether that's just an idea, feedback, something you may have heard. We want to know more.
Amazing. Antonia, incredible reporting. Thank you for sharing it with us. And you can use the QR code that you see right now on your screen to watch the full-length NBC News Digital documentary, The Children's Pastor. That's right now up on NBCnews.com.
All right, changing gears. After years of debates, a baseball giant could now potentially get some posthumous recognition. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred announced Pete Rose has been reinstated, paving the way for his possible induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. NBC News' Sam Brock has more on the surprise announcement. Sam, good morning.
Yeah, Christine, Savannah, good morning. Look, this has been such a big debate in Major League Baseball for almost 40 years. Should Pete Rose, an all-time great by anyone's measure, who was kicked out for gambling on the game, be reinstated? Baseball's current commissioner, Rob Manfred, arguing that Rose's lifetime ban is not necessary because he's no longer alive, or he says a threat to the integrity of the sport.
For a generation of fans, Pete Rose, the furious competitor, was baseball. The man who amassed an absolutely untouchable 4,256 hits, now reinstated roughly 8 months after his passing. Commissioner Rob Manfred writing about removing Rose from the permanently ineligible list. Obviously, a person no longer with us cannot represent a threat to the integrity of the game. Manfred also removing 16 other disgraced MLB figures, including the White Sox players associated with the 1919 cheating scandal, like shoeless Joe Jackson. Rose was investigated by MLB for gambling as a player and manager, ultimately agreeing to go on that ineligible list in 1989, though his journey to admitting breaking one of baseball's cardinal rules was long and winding.
I did not bet on baseball. Got too much respect for the game.
The man known as Charlie Hustle, later acknowledging in his 2004 autobiography and in this interview with ABC's Charlie Gibson, he did gamble, but never, he says, against his own team.
Did you bet on baseball?
Yes, I did, and that was my mistake.
The attorney who helped Rose seek reinstatement this time, Jeffrey Lenkoff, offering some perspective.
Behind closed doors, he was tortured by it.
What do you think it would mean to Pete, several months after his passing, to know that he is eligible for the Hall of Fame?
Sam, he's beaming now. I never saw him cry, and I really think he would cry.
Rose had many supporters for reinstatement, including President Trump, who promised to pardon him. But any assumption the three-time World Series champion will stroll right into Cooperstown could be misguided.
It's not just the all-time hits leader that's not in the Hall of Fame. The all-time home run leader is not in the Hall of Fame, Barry Bonds. The all-time leader in Cy Young victories is not in the Hall of Fame, Roger Clemens. We had no idea how it's going to play out.
In one of his last interviews, Rose with this prophetic prediction.
I'll make the Hall of Fame after I die.
And we'll find out if that ends up being true, guys. You know, while Pete Rose's reinstatement is, in fact, monumental, as we say, just to underscore this point, it's not a guarantee he's going to make the Hall of Fame. If he is even nominated, Rose will come up before the classic baseball era committees, which look at those who made an impact on the sport before 1980. He'll need 75% of the vote, or at least 12 of the 16 people on that committee. Back to you.
All right, Sam Brock. Thanks, Sam.
Well, coming up, it's a quintessentially American way of talking, rooted in the slower pace of daily Dixie life.
But is the born and bred Southern accent actually heading out to pasture? We'll dig into some new research revealing that distinctive drawl might be diminishing. That's next on Morning News Now.
We're back with some money headlines. Southwest Airlines is looking to expand its horizons across the globe.
That's right. CNBC's Silvana Henao joins us now with that and other money news this morning. Good morning, Silvana.
Hey, Christine. Hey, Savannah. Good morning. So Southwest Airlines filing for a permit to fly more international routes. The carrier is seeking permission to transport people, property, and mail to all countries with which the U.S. has an open skies agreement, including Europe, Latin America, and parts of Asia and Africa. Now, Southwest says that this doesn't necessarily mean anything is forthcoming. It currently flies within the U.S. and some destinations in Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central America. Nearly half of current homeowners say they have at least one regret about their purchase. A new Bankrate survey finds more than 40% say maintenance and other hidden costs were more expensive than they expected. Other regrets include buying too small of a house, the mortgage payment being too high, overpaying, buying in a bad location, and not thinking it's a good investment. Homeownership is still a goal for many, with 82% considering it to be a part of the American dream. And, well, we have details on the next Mario Brothers movie, but we probably shouldn't have. It appears the film will be called Super Mario World. That was included in a press release about NBC Universal's upcoming movies as part of a selection of content scheduled to stream on Peacock after they're shown in theaters. But the post was soon updated with mentions of Super Mario World and new Shrek and Minions movies removed. Now, the Mario sequel was announced last year with a launch planned for next spring. Lots going on.
For real. Silvana, thank you so much.
You got it.
All right, the Southern accent, once a staple of American culture, may be slipping away. New research seems to show that the classic Southern drawl is not as prevalent as it once was in the United States. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson joins us from Houston with more. Good morning, Priscilla.
Well, good morning, y'all. From the bolo tie to the boots, I may look like the tried and true Texan that I am, but it turns out that I may not sound very Southern. And experts say I'm not alone.
Then there was a tsunami.
It's the Southern accent heard round the world.
I'm Southern, but ain't no way I'm as Southern as Parker Posey's character Victoria on White Lotus Season 3. Please.
Even sparking this viral moment.
Like, Piper, no!
Between White Lotus star Parker Posey and our own Carolina guy, Craig.
Tsunami! Buddhism!
The moment,
Piper, no!
setting social media on fire.
Piper, no. Oh, God. That was kind of spot on.
But in real life, experts say that iconic Southern drawl, marked by elongated vowels and a slower pace, is actually disappearing.
Y'all, what happened to Southern accents?
Research shows a diminishing accent in regions across the South, from Georgia, which saw the biggest shift between baby boomers and Gen X, and cities like Raleigh and New Orleans.
The reason? Increased migration to the South, which in the 2020s alone is already more than 4 times greater than the other 3 U.S. regions combined, causing younger generations to lose that distinctive Southern twang.
Looks like 2 pigs fighting under a blanket.
The Southern accent doesn't sound like that today.
There are still people who speak with these very, very strong accents. They'll tend to be much more isolated places, or they'll be much older speakers. But yeah, the younger generation, it's shifting.
We decided to hear straight from the mouths of Southerners.
Oil.
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 My mom would say old.
How do you feel about no longer hearing Southern accents?
I guess that would be sad because they're so comforting. You know, like when an older Southern lady calls you honey.
You may lose an accent, but that doesn't change where you were from.
Should I be impressed?
And fear not, researchers say that lovable Southern tongue likely won't go away entirely.
There's not a chance. There's too much pride in it.
And Christine, I cannot tell you how often people say to me, you don't sound like you're from the South, until, of course, I say y'all. But, you know, nowadays, people from everywhere say y'all. And fun fact, studies show that the Southern accent is considered the friendliest and the sexiest American accent. Christine?
Okay, I saw how you asked them to say the word O-I-L. But what about the word I-N-S-U-R-A-N-C-E? How do you say that word?
It's like a spelling bee.
I-N-S-U-R-A.
Yeah.
Insurance?
See, I say insurance. You say insurance. See, that's a good. That's still a difference.
Insurance.
Funny, right?
Huh. You're right. So I am doing the little Southern accent thing with my vowels.
It has not gone away forever.
I'm impressed. That was like also a pop quiz.
I know. Sorry.
Spelling bee. Thanks for
She's like, I did not sign up for this.
She's like, I-N-S.
Nice to see you. All right, coming up, we've got a Gen Z rising star who's making waves in soft rock.
After the break, Momo Boyd is joining us live to talk about her viral new single and life on the road with her family band, Infinity Song. That's up next. We are back with our series Making Waves, where we put the spotlight on Gen Z. You just heard a short snippet there from American Love Song, and that was created by a 26-year-old star on the rise. You might even recognize it because it's trending on TikTok right now, actually. The same artist, she's also a member of a soft rock band with her siblings called Infinity Song. That group, signed by Jay-Z's Rock Nation, is getting ready to hit the road for the kickoff of a new world tour. But in the meantime, this morning, the youngest member is joining me solo to talk about her new heartbreak anthem and more. Momo Boyd, she's right here live with us. Momo, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you for being here. Congratulations on everything you have happening. And let's start with this, your official solo debut. So that's with this song. Tell us just how it's felt to see the reception of the song. I mentioned trending on TikTok, kind of going viral right now.
Honestly, it's been a little bit surreal. I don't think you can really plan for how it will be received when you're creating art and when you're just giving your all. So from the day that I dropped it, I feel like the reception was just amazing. A lot of people talking about it, a lot of people just giving me so much amazing energy. So,
and also, you are in the genre of soft rock. What has it been like to be a young Black woman in that particular genre? Tell me about the importance of representation, and I know what you've heard from some fans.
Honestly, it's a lot of fun. I don't think that I would be having this much fun if I was doing anything else, mostly because it means so much to me. And it's just the truest way of expression for me at this point in my life. More than anything, I think about, what do I want to hear out in the world? What do I want to sing about? Before I think about anybody else and how they would like to perceive me, I think about how would I like to perceive myself, or how would me at 16 years old, when I was, you know, at my most vulnerable and insecure, like, how would she like to see me? You know, it's mostly about that.
What a way to do it.
Yeah.
I mentioned that your band with your siblings, you're signed by Jay-Z, and I love the story. It's fascinating about y'all performing in Central Park, and that's how he heard. Tell me the story about how you met him and how it came to be that you're signed with Rock Nation.
Yeah, well, the story is pretty long, but...
Okay, tell us a 30-second version, if you can.
Okay, well, we sang in Central Park, me and my family, for many years. I would say about 12 to 15 years,
So cool.
on and off. And it was in 2016, I believe, that we were introduced to Jay-Z through a mutual friend, and the experience, I could close my eyes right now and still remember what it was like to be on the top floor of a skyscraper in Times Square meeting the King of New York, and the words he had for us, and the just positive energy that he radiated.
And some advice, right?
Yeah, lots of advice. The most important advice that he told us that I still hold dear, we all still hold dear, is don't try to be like the world. You know, let the world catch up to you. You know, be who you are, stay true to who you are, and eventually they'll figure it out, you know?
And now with your band, you're going on a world tour. How's that feel? How's preparation going?
It's going well. I'm just really excited to get out there. We've had like a lot of time in the studio so far this year, but there is nothing like being on the stage. There's nothing like standing face to face with fans and hugging people and just feeling that energy with those sold out crowds across the world. It's like nothing else to perform with your siblings, to just give it all you have every night.
Like, it's so cool that you get to do it with your siblings. We only have a few seconds, but we like to ask in this segment for you to sort of complete this sentence for us. Gen Z is what?
Gen Z is sincere, I would say.
I love that. What does that mean to you?
I would say that we give it all we have. We are so invested in the truth, in what's honest to us, and what feels good and what feels right. And so I feel like Gen Z is really a generation that puts the internal over the external, I would say.
Oh, amazing. Momo Boyd, thank you so much. Congratulations on your success and good luck on the tour.
Thank you.
So great to have you with us in studio. And you can stream American Love Song right now on Spotify and Apple Music. That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now. But the news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.